Hi, I'm Alan Gordon, author and creator of the Cycle of Mind system of mental training and the School of Ancient Wisdom. And in this video today, I'm going to share with you why so many people are emotionally needy and how to spot an emotionally needy person in a relationship. Then, at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you a life lesson that I really hope you're going to be able to keep forever inside you. Now, I've talked about this before in other videos, but at a very early age, very early in your childhood, and I'm talking when you were a baby, age 1, 2, 3, everything was new to you. Every touch was new to you. Every experience was new to you. But also at that very young age, you were very emotionally vulnerable. So those experiences in your early childhood became your understanding of how the world works. This is when you formed your subconscious self-image. And psychiatrists agree that 90 to 95% of your self-beliefs that you still carry today were formed and became hardened at the age of 3. Now, while those experiences have long ago been buried in your subconscious mind and they've been long ago forgotten in time, those experiences from your early childhood form the foundation for your subconscious self-beliefs. And as I'm going to show you in this video, to this very day, you have been repeating and living out the same emotional patterns based on those subconscious beliefs throughout your whole life. Now, here's the key, right? We all understand that we have subconscious beliefs and we have forgotten memories that are buried under the surface. We all understand that. But what we don't really appreciate is just how much control these subconscious beliefs have over every aspect of our lives. There are 2 types of negative beliefs that I want to share with you today. The first is called a void, okay? You can call it a void, you can call it a need, you can call it a lack. There's something deep inside your subconscious mind that's missing, something that's not quite whole. You feel a lack, and until that need is filled, you don't feel whole. You don't feel validated. And so what happens is when we have these voids in our subconscious mind, we create behaviors and social skills that are designed to fill that void, to find in the world what we need and draw it into our lives. As an example, if we feel as a child that we lacked attention, then our entire personality, all of our behaviors, all of our social skills are designed to draw attention to us. And of course, we do this unconsciously. Now, first of all, this void was created decades ago. You're not aware of it. You're not aware that you have these behaviors and habits, and you don't even know where the void came from. That's long ago been forgotten. The second negative belief I want to share with you is called a vulnerability. You can call it a vulnerability, a sensitivity, a subconscious pain point, or maybe it's just something you're ashamed of. Okay? You developed this vulnerability, this shame, long ago in your childhood when you were 2 years old. So now, of course, you have no idea it even exists or why it was ever formed in the first place. But since you were a child, you've had this vulnerability and you've developed behaviors and social skills and habits that guard against other people to protect these subconscious pain points. You see everyone in the world as a potential threat. So you learned long ago to protect yourself against revealing your vulnerability. Now, as adults, we don't even know that we have these vulnerabilities. They're subconscious. They're under the surface. Yet we still guard ourselves. We still push people away from us just in the hopes that they will never discover our vulnerabilities. But we're not aware of this behavior. And again, all of this is subconscious. We have vulnerabilities and voids. I call them blind spots because we're not even aware, because they're subconscious, we're not even aware that they exist. And we're not aware that we have these behaviors and habits and social skills. We're not even aware that this is happening. This whole system happens subconsciously. And that's how powerful our subconscious beliefs really are. That's the power that they hold over us throughout our entire lives. Now, all of these imperfections in our subconscious mind, all of these voids and vulnerabilities, they cause us to behave in a way that I call it's off balance. And we're blind to our own behaviors. We don't see it. Even when people point out our behaviors, it's difficult for us to make changes because the source of our behaviors our subconscious, right? And it's like we're fighting an invisible enemy. When we try to make changes in our behavior, we're fighting an invisible enemy who causes us to act in certain ways over and over again. Even if we want to change our behaviors, we can never win. We're fighting a subconscious opponent that will never lose. But here's the key, right? Because each of us have these subconscious defects, and this is really important to understand. When we look out into the world, we don't really see the world as it is. We see the world with a filter of our subconscious voids and vulnerabilities. So in the case of subconscious vulnerabilities, when we look out into the world, we don't see the world as it is. We see everything and everyone as a potential threat. So we learn how to protect ourselves. We don't let anyone close to us. We don't expose our vulnerabilities. For our subconscious voids, for our feelings of lack, we see every person and opportunity not for what they are, but as an opportunity to fill these emotional voids. As an example, if subconsciously, for whatever reason, however this problem got here, if you have a void, if you feel a lack of money as an example, then it doesn't matter how much money you get. You always need more because it's not the money, it's the subconscious emotional void that the money is filling. And that doesn't go away when more money comes in. If you have a subconscious void for attention, like I mentioned before, it doesn't matter how much attention you get. It will never be enough because it's not the attention, it's the subconscious void that it's filling. If you eat too much, it's not the food, it's the emotional void that needs to be filled. There's no amount of food or shopping or gambling or whatever your addiction is, drugs, alcohol. There's no amount of anything that is going to fill the subconscious emotional void because it's still always there. Whatever it is that you feel you're lacking in your life, you will always need more. You will never get enough. The outside world will never provide you with enough. It's the example I use. It's like pouring water into a bucket that has a hole in the bottom. The outer world will never be enough to fill your subconscious void. You're never going to have enough because the subconscious void never goes away. So here's the key. Other people will never make you feel whole. You must make yourself feel whole by changing the beliefs in your subconscious mind. All of us have these behaviors, and we use people to fill our emotional voids, and we push people away because we don't want to expose our emotional vulnerabilities anytime they get close. And here's the thing, people do the same thing to us. They're using us to fill their emotional needs, and they push us away to prevent us from getting close because we might find out about some vulnerability that they have. Everybody is off balance in the same way. And when two people meet who are out of balance, there's going to be drama. And whenever there's drama, we always blame the other person for the drama because we don't see how off balance we are ourselves. But if you could open up your mind and actually look into your own subconscious mind, you would see the source of your imbalance. You would see all the voids and the vulnerabilities that exist under the surface. Then you would understand that each of us at a subconscious level is the creator of our own drama in life. Now, there is one path to solving these subconscious voids and vulnerabilities, and that is the path of self-awareness, to start to understand our behaviors and to start to understand what's going on in our subconscious mind. When you can understand your self-awareness, you're going to be able to observe your own patterns of imbalance and eventually get deep into your subconscious and replace those negative beliefs. Now, these beliefs were formed when you were a baby. Now you can replace them with more normal beliefs or more mature beliefs about yourself. And like I said, it's much easier to ask other people to change. It's much easier to see their faults and their imbalance and their behaviors. It's much easier than it is to see our own problems. And most people aren't really ready for the difficult work of changing their subconscious. James Allen, one of my favorite quotes, he captured this perfectly when he said, "Most men are anxious to change their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. Therefore, they remain bound." Until you understand yourself from the inside, these subconscious voids and vulnerabilities will always pull you back to endless cycles of repeating drama. Now, I want to share with you one very important lesson about voids and vulnerabilities. And your hand will actually be the perfect way to understand what I'm talking about, okay? Our fingers stick out, right? These are like our vulnerabilities. And then there are spaces between our fingers. These are like our voids, things that we need to be filled, right? Each of us has our own unique combination of these voids and vulnerabilities deep in our subconscious mind. There's a song with the lyrics that go, "The spaces between my fingers are right where yours fit perfectly." The universal symbol of true love is holding hands with our fingers intertwined. But to hold hands with someone in this way, you must first trust them. All of us live with our own vulnerabilities, our pain points, but we're afraid to open up because if I share with you all of these things that I'm ashamed of or afraid of, then you might hurt me. And I've been guarding against that my whole life. But if I don't open up to you, then you can never fill my emotional voids. And this is our predicament. It is our fear of trusting others that prevents our own emotional needs from being met. When I reach out my hand to hold your hand and you hold my hand back, it's unspoken that you trust me to not hurt your vulnerabilities. And you're allowing me, giving me permission to fill your emotional voids. You trust me enough to tell me everything about you, and you trust that I won't hurt you. And I trust you enough to expose my vulnerabilities, and I trust that you will not hurt me. And when that trust is real, the other person holds your hand back, and it's only in that moment of mutual trust are we able to fill each other's emotional voids. But don't think of this trusting as just for lovers. If you want to have deep relationships with your children, your family, your friends, your coworkers, show them that they can trust you with everything. And if they trust you with their vulnerabilities, you will not hurt them. Only then will you get close enough to fill their emotional void. That is true love. I accept you and you accept me. All my imperfections included, we accept one another. Look, if you're interested in finding balance in your life, if you're interested in going into your subconscious mind and changing these deeply held subconscious beliefs that you've been holding for decades since you were an infant, then check out the School of Ancient Wisdom, and particularly, I want you to check out the training track on self-awareness. I'll see you at the next video.